Before we talk about Alien Romulus, let's talk about how there's no such thing as a bad alien movie. No. Well, what about Alien versus Predator? Yes, okay, look, they don't count really, okay? That's just merchandising. Those are not alien movies. But also, Alien versus Predator, they're meant to be silly, and they were silly, and still fun. So let's give them a break. The reason why I say there's no such thing as a bad alien movie, because like, look, this is a franchise where most of these movies, especially when you look at the first four, every single one of those new hotshot directors brought something new, something different, brought themselves and their styles and their aesthetics to each and every one of those movies. Now, of course, Ridley Scott's Alien is the best. Like, it's not just the best in this franchise, it's one of the best movies of all time. Anyone who says the James Cameron sequel, Aliens, is better, is like, I'm sorry, that's blasphemy. I will not stand for that. You see, the original Alien is a horror movie with sci-fi scaffolding, okay? Like, Sigourney Weaver is essentially the final girl being pursued by this kind of rapey monster. And like, let's talk about the sexual innuendo theories. I'm sure you've already picked up on all the phallic imagery when it comes to the monster, all the womb-like imagery when it comes to the different corridors, the cervix imagery. Like, this is a movie that is very intentional with the sexualized imagery. Because I say Alien is very intentional because this is a movie that's coming out just a few years after Roe versus Wade. It's a movie about unwanted pregnancies. It's essentially like kind of a pro-choice allegory embedded within this monster movie where people's bodies are terrorized by this monster that wants to come bursting out. So yeah, Alien, untouchable. Aliens, also really great. Love that movie. You know what that movie is essentially? It's Rambo in space, okay? Like, James Cameron made a war movie. When I say Rambo in space, bear in mind, James Cameron actually wrote Rambo First Blood Part 2. And Aliens is essentially the same story. It is yet another post-Vietnam story about soldiers being sent into battle on a rescue mission, being set up to be ambushed, okay? Like, if you think about Rambo was trying to like kind of reclaim the American hero after the embarrassment that was Vietnam. You know, First Blood Part 2, Rambo's basically like, do we get to win this time? And he gets sent into Vietnam and he becomes the individual soldier can be heroic even when the American institutions suck. Aliens is the same story. You got selfish corporate players sending these, you know, brave American soldiers with all the high tech into a Vietnam-like landscape where they're ambushed by this unseen enemy. Alien 3. David Fincher, one of the greatest directors of our time. This is his debut, and of course I know he disowned this movie, but think about like what he brought to this movie. Alien 3, like Fight Club, is about people feeling disenfranchised, trying to stick it to the corporate overlords, right? Of course, this is a movie about the most disenfranchised people, right? Prisoners who literally have barcodes on the back of their necks. And in that movie, Fincher's basically introducing his whole punk rock sensibility. Resurrection? Possibly the worst in the franchise, but again, not bad. It's, you know, it's the director of Amelie. It's weird eurotrash. I dig it. I know a lot of you like to hate on Ridley Scott's prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And sure, yeah, like, it's not exactly meeting the standards of his original movie. I mean, what movie can? But I'm here for the creator of this franchise, returning to the franchise to take it in a new direction, to explore new ideas, to explore the idea of creation and creation mythology. Like, do we really need fan service? And that brings us to Alien Romulus, which, yes, it is fan service, okay? It's actually, I read on Twitter the perfect analogy. It's elegant taxidermy, okay? It's Fede Alvarez trying to recreate a lot of the thrills for the first and second Alien movies. Has a lot of callbacks, one which is actually really detrimental. I will say I did enjoy this movie for the most part. I really love some of the really elegant aesthetic touches. The way he plays with darkness and silence in the openings, like, you had me at hello. The zero gravity acid blood, like, that shit's fun. Let's get into spoiler territory to talk about our big problem with this movie, okay? Our big problem with this movie, this is a huge spoiler at this point, okay? This movie has one of those really nostalgic callbacks where it uses deepfake technology to bring back an old character, okay? So think about the way Christopher Reeve is brought back into The Flash, the way they got a young Princess Leia in Rogue One back. Like, same thing here. When it happens here, it feels like it just crosses a line. It's cheap. It's unnecessary. These are movies that have always been wary of how AI has been used to serve the corporate overlords. And so for the corporate overlords to now use AI for a nostalgic fan service callback, in any case, you know, take Alien Romulus for what it's worth, have some fun with it, and make sure you follow me at Just Say Rad for more movie stuff.